The sky above Zerya cracked with unnatural light. Purple, green, and gold streaked across the clouds like fire in motion. Explosions shook the ground beneath Lieutenant Aiden's boots, throwing dust and debris into the air. Somewhere in the distance, a city screamed. Towers collapsed into rubble, smoke rising like dark fingers clawing at the sky. Aiden's communicator buzzed urgently. Unknown life signs detected. Move carefully. Life, someone or something, was alive in this hellscape. Aiden's pulse quickened. The war had already taken so much, and now there was something fragile and alive among the ruins. Then he heard it, a sharp, terrified cry cutting through the chaos. It was small, fragile, and human-like, yet there was an alien quality in the sound that made his chest tighten. Instinct pushed him forward, ignoring the danger around him. Every explosion, every shadow, every falling piece of debris seemed to fade as he sprinted toward the sound. Between two broken walls, he found her. A tiny alien girl, trembling violently. Her skin shimmered faintly, like liquid silver, reflecting the colors of the strange sky. A wound on her shoulder bled a strange glowing blue. Her violet eyes were wide with fear, darting nervously at everything around her. Aiden's first instinct was to help. He reached for his med kit, his hands steady despite the chaos. But the moment he moved toward her, she flinched violently. She recoiled, pressing her trembling body against the rubble. I won't hurt you," Aiden whispered gently. Her shivers didn't stop. Aiden paused, realizing that she was not like any alien he had seen before. Touching her wound might make her panic, might make things worse. His mind raced, looking for a solution. Then on instinct, he did something unexpected. He leaned closer, ignoring the danger around them, and pressed his lips gently against the wound. The reaction was immediate. Her body shuddered violently, not from pain, but from shock. Her eyes widened even more, her chest rising and falling rapidly. Aiden pulled back slightly, unsure of what had just happened. But instead of fear or recoil, he saw something else. Trust. A fragile, trembling trust. The sky roared again as an explosion erupted nearby. Shards of crystal-like stone rained down from the sky, forcing him to cover the girl with his body. She clung to him tightly, her shivers slowly fading, replaced by a quiet trembling that ran through her entire body. He knew then that this bond, however, strange it seemed, was stronger than any weapon he carried. This wasn't just healing. It was connection. "Come on," he whispered. "We have to move." Aiden lifted her carefully, making sure not to touch the wound directly. Each step was dangerous. Rubble crunched underfoot, unstable buildings loomed overhead, and distant explosions kept reminding him that the enemy was closing in. Still, the girl held on, her trust in him growing with every step. As they navigated the ruined streets, he saw the destruction around him in full detail. Buildings that once housed thousands of aliens were reduced to piles of debris. Fires burned fiercely, casting long, trembling shadows. Among the wreckage, survivors watched them pass. Some were injured, some hidden in fear, and all seemed amazed at the human carrying one of their own. Hours passed as they moved toward the temporary human outpost. The girl's shivers gradually slowed. Her glowing skin dimmed to a softer shimmer, and her breathing evened out. Aiden could feel her heartbeat, a rapid, uneven pulse settling into a steady rhythm. He realized that in a world full of war and chaos, a simple act of care could save more than a body. It could save a soul. Finally, they reached the outpost. Soldiers rushed to secure the perimeter, shouting orders and warnings. Aiden placed the girl gently on a cot, still holding her hand for reassurance. Medics quickly surrounded them, ready to treat the wound. But when they examined it, the glowing blue was already fading. The injury was closing in a way that baffled the human medics. They exchanged astonished looks, muttering about the strange physiology of Zerya's inhabitants. Aiden only smiled quietly. He knew the truth. Healing wasn't always about medicine. Sometimes it was about trust, care, and connection. The alien girl looked up at him with wide, shimmering eyes. Her gaze said more than words ever could. In that moment, Lieutenant Aiden understood the bond they had formed. In a world torn apart by war, even a small act of kindness could create hope. Outside, the sky continued its strange, swirling dance. The war raged in the distance, explosions and chaos lighting the horizon. But inside the outpost, there was peace. A momentary silence, a small pocket of safety amid destruction. Aiden stood quietly, watching over the girl, knowing that the real battle wasn't only fought with weapons. The real battle was to protect life, to connect across differences, and to find humanity even in the darkest moments. As night fell over the ruined city, he wondered what lay ahead. The enemy would not wait. The girl's people might not trust him fully yet. But for now, he had given her safety, hope, and something more, a connection that might change everything. Stars flickered above the destroyed cityscape, indifferent to the chaos below. Yet in that quiet moment, a single human and a small alien girl had begun something new, something powerful. A spark of trust in a world consumed by war. And so, Lieutenant Aiden rested beside her, ready to face whatever came next in this unexpected war. The night on Zerya was restless. The wind carried the scent of smoke and burning metal, whispering through the shattered remains of the city. Lieutenant Aiden sat beside the alien girl, keeping watch. Her small hands were wrapped around his, still trembling, though the worst of her fear had faded. Every so often, she glanced at him, her violet eyes reflecting a strange mix of curiosity and cautious trust. Outside the outpost, distant explosions continued, lighting the horizon. Enemy ships moved silently among the ruins, like predators circling their prey. Aiden knew the war was far from over. The fragile calm of the outpost could break at any moment. The medics had done what they could for her. The glowing wound had nearly closed, but her body remained fragile. Aiden noticed small shivers running through her again. He realized the girl wasn't just injured, she was terrified. The war, the destruction, the loss of her people, it weighed on her more than the wound itself. He leaned closer, whispering softly, "You're safe now. I won't let anything happen to you." The alien girl's trembling slowed slightly at his words, but she didn't respond. Instead, she traced the scars on her arm with delicate fingers, her gaze distant. Aiden watched her carefully, trying to understand this strange creature who had survived horrors he could barely imagine. Hours passed, and the temporary peace shattered. A loud alarm echoed across the outpost. Red lights flashed. Enemy forces had located their position. Aiden sprang to his feet, instincts taking over. He scooped the girl into his arms again, careful not to touch the healing wound. "Stay close to me," he instructed the medics. "We're moving out, now." The soldiers grabbed their weapons, forming a protective circle around the small group. The alien girl clung to Aiden, her body trembling not from fear alone, but from exhaustion. Her breathing was uneven, shallow at first, and Aiden whispered encouraging words to keep her calm. Outside, the terrain had changed. The ruins stretched farther, shadows from jagged rocks making every step dangerous. Enemy patrols moved silently, using the darkness as cover. Each step forward felt like walking into a trap. Suddenly, a sharp whistle pierced the night. Aiden froze. Shadows shifted. A squad of enemy scouts emerged from the darkness, their weapons aimed with deadly precision. His team reacted instantly, firing in unison, but the alien girl gasped and squeezed his neck tighter. He whispered, "It's okay, I've got you." The firefight was brief, but intense. Explosions sent dust into the air, smoke blurring their vision. Aiden carried her through the chaos, ducking under falling debris and dodging gunfire. The alien girl's trembling returned, but this time it was different. Not just fear, but a strange energy pulsing from her body, almost like she was absorbing his courage. They found a narrow tunnel leading beneath the ruins, partially hidden by fallen beams. Aiden led them inside. The darkness was complete, the only light coming from faint glowing veins along the girl's skin. Her body pressed close to his as they moved through the passage. As they walked, Aiden realized something incredible. Despite her fear, she seemed to understand him without words. Her small hand occasionally brushed against his arm, almost instinctively, guiding him around dangerous obstacles. He whispered, "You're stronger than you know." She didn't answer, but her eyes met his, and he could feel the unspoken trust growing. Hours turned into an uneasy journey through the tunnels. Enemy forces were searching above, their shouts echoing faintly. The alien girl leaned against him, shivering less with every step. Aiden began to understand the truth. She wasn't just fragile. She was resilient. And their bond was giving her strength in ways no medic could. Eventually, they emerged into a hidden valley. The moonlight revealed a safe haven among jagged cliffs, untouched by the war raging above. Aiden set her down carefully, still keeping a protective hand on her shoulder. For the first time, she looked at him and smiled faintly. It was a small, almost imperceptible gesture, but to Aiden, it meant everything. She was beginning to trust him, to see him as someone who could protect her from a world that had tried to destroy her. The calm didn't last long. In the distance, faint lights flickered, a new enemy patrol. Aiden knew the next attack could come at any moment. But for now, he allowed himself a brief moment to breathe. He had saved her once, and he would do it again. He realized that in the chaos of war, human compassion was as powerful a weapon as any gun or ship. The alien girl's trembling had stopped almost completely. Her eyes held something new, hope. And in that hope, Aiden found his own strength. A reminder that the war wasn't just about battles, it was about protecting life. Creating trust, and finding light in the darkness. As they settled into the hidden valley, Aiden whispered softly, "We're not done yet. But together, we can survive anything." The alien girl didn't speak, but her small hand rested on his, a silent promise that they would face whatever came next. Above them, the stars flickered over the ruined city, indifferent yet beautiful. Shadows of the enemy still lurked nearby, but for now, Lieutenant Aiden and the alien girl had found a moment of safety, a fragile peace in the heart of chaos. And deep down, both of them knew that the real test of survival was still ahead. The hidden valley was quiet, but only for a moment. Shadows moved at the edges of the cliffs, and faint sounds of enemy patrols echoed in the distance. Lieutenant Aiden stood beside the alien girl, alert and tense. Her glowing skin had dimmed to a soft shimmer, but her eyes remained wide, alert, and trusting. She had begun to rely on him completely, and he knew he could not fail her. A sudden explosion shook the valley. Rocks tumbled down from the cliffs, dust clouding the air. Enemy forces had found them. The moment of safety was over. Aiden scooped the girl into his arms once again, her small body trembling against his chest, not from fear, but from the rush of adrenaline. "Hold on," he whispered, as he scanned the valley. The enemy soldiers were approaching quickly, their weapons aimed. Aiden's team moved into position, covering his path. The alien girl's glowing wound flickered faintly, as if responding to the tension in the air. As they ran toward a narrow canyon, a group of enemies blocked the path. Aiden realized there was no way around. He had to face them. He placed the girl carefully behind a large rock, shielding her from sight. "Stay here. Don't move," he instructed firmly. She shook her head slightly but didn't speak. Her trust was clear. She knew he would protect her. Aiden faced the enemy soldiers, his weapons ready. He moved with calm precision, every action deliberate. Blaster fire lit up the canyon, echoing off the stone walls. He dodged, returned fire, and pushed forward. each step bringing him closer to clearing a path for the girl. Above the chaos, a larger shadow emerged, a massive war machine, its metallic limbs glinting in the moonlight. The enemy's leader. Aiden's heart pounded, but he refused to show fear. He knew the alien girl was relying on him, and he could not fail. He engaged the war machine with a calculated risk, dodging energy blasts and leading it toward the cliffs. Meanwhile, his team protected the girl and other survivors in the canyon. The battle was fierce, but Aiden's determination never wavered. His courage, his skill, and his willingness to protect life became a force stronger than the enemy's weapons. Finally, with a daring move, he toppled the war machine down the cliff. Sparks flew, metal screeched, and it crashed into the valley below, leaving a cloud of smoke and fire. The remaining enemy soldiers retreated, and silence returned tense. But safe, Aiden ran back to the alien girl, lifting her into his arms once more. She trembled slightly at first, but then a small, genuine smile appeared on her face. The glow from her wound had completely faded, leaving her uninjured, safe and alive. "You're safe," Aiden whispered, holding her close. "Nothing will hurt you now." For the first time she spoke, her voice soft but clear. "Thank you for everything." Aiden smiled, a weight lifting from his shoulders. The war had not ended, but at least for now, they had survived together. And in that survival, a bond had formed that no enemy could break. The alien girl looked around at the ruined valley, then back at Aiden. She took a deep breath, the shivers gone. Trust, hope, and courage radiated from her. Aiden realized that in saving her, he had not only protected a life, but had also shown what humans were capable of, even in a war-torn world. The stars above flickered, serene and distant. The danger was not gone, but the human and the alien had proven something powerful, that compassion, courage, and connection could change everything. Even in the darkest of times, Aiden carried her out of the valley toward safety, toward allies, and toward a future that felt brighter than any star in the night sky. In that moment, he understood the truth of humanity. The greatest strength was not in weapons or strategy, but in protecting life and forging bonds that could withstand any storm. And as they walked together, side by side, Lieutenant Aiden and the alien girl knew one thing clearly. They had survived the unexpected war, and they would face the future together, unbroken, stronger, and united.